All right, y'all, we did it. We made it, y'all. It is officially April. It is the second quarter.
6th. April 6th.
April 6th, the second quarter of this year, 2023, which is wild. And it's springtime. Although Los Angeles, California is a little confused about whether it's still winter or it is spring. But nonetheless, it's springtime. This time is all about renewal and newness and fresh energy. Okay.
I'm feeling it.
And if you're ready to shake off, shall I say, wintertime and reduce stress, anxiety, depression, okay, you want to find a new self-care routine and you want to revamp your physical fitness regimen, then stick around, yo, because this episode is for you.
Hi, I'm Pam Williams, a mother.
And I'm Jessica E. Williams, a daughter. And this is a mother and a daughter truthful chat, where we discuss our 35-year multi-layered relationship.
We've been through so many ups and downs. Not only are we family, but we're business partners in the high-stress world of event planning and production for short films.
We've also shared the same therapist for over 10 years. What some people call codependence, we call collaboration.
So join us as we share stories from our lives,
Have candid conversations with other mother-daughter duos,
and shed light on the roller coaster ride of being a woman while raising a woman. Welcome to Truthful Chats. We had a little light issue there.
Wild Thursday, thus far.
Designed to engage us in the ongoing practice of getting to generational wellness. More on that in the below the video. So each month we have a create generational wellness theme, and our weekly Truthful Chats unpack that just a little bit and we kind of dig into it and talk about some things. So the theme for April is plant, and today's episode is watch us grow.
Watch us grow.
Watch us grow, right?
Whip and nay-nay. I'm just playing.
No, we are discussing our latest idea, our latest project, our latest venture for mental, physical, and emotional well-being during Earth Month. That might give you a little hint.
That's right, y'all. So yes, indeed. Happy Earth Month, everybody. This month also includes the celebration of 420. I want to acknowledge all of our people out here. Can we also, I know it's not legal in all places, but can we just release all the prisoners that have drug-related weed offenses? It just seems silly now.
Since we have a whole day to celebrate.
I mean, all the other people who are of non-melanated hues are making money off this. So it should be fine now. Anyway, also, aside from 420, for those who indulge, happy early 422. Also, Earth Day is this month, which is April 22nd. Okay. So Earth Day, I actually just figured this out and discovered this because I was curious. Netflix told me it was Earth something, and I was like, oh, word. And I looked up Earth Day. So it actually started in the 1970s. That's Pam's heyday era where she was in the club and doing all kind of things.
Doing things.
You know, it's the LSD era, the hippie.
I was not doing LSD.
Okay,
Don't make her let you
free
think
love.
that.
Anyway, the hippie children was trying to tell us something about how we live in our lives. Okay, they was trying to show us some pathways. Not everything was great, but some things were great. Anyway, so it started in the 1970s. It was all about Earth consciousness and awareness, particularly around climate change, which I know for the Gen Zers, keep hope alive. This is a struggle and something y'all worry about all the time. But don't trip. Hopefully we'll all do our part and it won't end terribly. Anyway, so that was what it's all about. Climate change is a global celebrated holiday. So shout out to all those in the 1970s that made it pop in. And each Earth Month actually has a theme every year, which I didn't know. And this year's theme is invest in our planet. Keyword our. As long as we're here in the same time zone, in the same place as our planet together. And that actually coincides pretty closely with what we're talking about today. So in the intro, I was talking about, you know, shaking off winter things, anxiety, stress, depression, springtime is renewal and incredible energy that we got out here. All y'all horoscope people, y'all need to tell me about the planets circling or something. Bishop, you got me. Just send me some information. Anyway, it's an awakening. We in the spring times. And yeah, we talked about, updating your physical regimen and doing all that kind of stuff. And so a great way to do all of that is to gardening during the Earth Month. And it's a great hobby to get into. It's an excellent way to beautify your surroundings. And that's what we talk about today, little gardening.
Absolutely. So right up front, 100% transparency, we are the worst. Horrible. We
Terrible.
will kill any plant.
We've killed many plants.
It's bad. We have brown thumbs. We have real brown thumbs, and we have planting brown thumbs.
Racist, but you understand.
But we started thinking about gardening and where we are in our business, and we started seeing a lot of parallels and things that kind of, align with each other. So we've been planting seeds during this first quarter with our chats every week, and we've been letting you guys know what we're about.
It's a metaphor.
And we've been growing little by little, and we've been consistently paying attention to what is going well, pulling out some weeds, deciding where we might need some more water. And there are just a lot of parallels that we started thinking about this month because our theme is plant. So as we're planting seeds for our business, we said, maybe it might be a good idea if we plant some real seeds.
Plant things for real.
For real. So we started doing some research, and much to my surprise, I knew a lot of people that like to garden, but I didn't know it provided all these things. A sense of benefits. Yes, benefits. A sense of accomplishment and purpose, which can increase your self-esteem and confidence. You finished something, you grew something, you didn't kill it. Hey, hallelujah. All right. It also can be used as a form of meditation because it allows you to focus, center your mind, actually working with your hands and
getting in the dirt.
Yeah, it clears your mind, connecting with the ground, right? So there's also a feeling of being connected to nature. And this has a calming effect on your mind and body. You know how you're outside, you go for a hike. I don't like hikes.
I love hiking.
Yeah, it's a thing between us. We try.
I passed out on a hike once, but that's me.
Listen, we try. We try to be in it. I like being in nature, but I'm a beach person. So anyway, but being in nature can calm your body, calm your mind, and that actually increases your creativity. So I know a lot of us out here are creatives, and anything we can do to protect that mind, energy, and be creative really helps. It's also a great way to improve your physical health. Another thing that I am not fond of is exercise. But
we're creating generational
we're creating generational wellness. So I'm trying to find ways to do it that works for me. So hopefully this gardening will get me a little active and doing some physical things, and that will be good for me. It's also a way to improve your cardiovascular strength, your flexibility, health, and get some vitamin D. Get some vitamin D from the sun, which is really important for your bone health. So those are some things we all have already learned about gardening and the benefits of it.
And it's only been like 12 hours. So anyway, I already had sort of earth things on the brain because I've been watching Extrapolations on Apple TV Plus. If you have not watched it, it's a new Scott Z. Burns series. Shout out to Noel Arthur. I see you, brother, making it into the show, into the trailer and things. And so it's a star-studded bananas cast. I don't know what their budget was to pay all these incredible people. A-listers. And and the production budget is a lot because a lot of CGI and things. So that show is really like taking us into climate change in the future. And so each episode, the pilot is like one thing where all these characters all kind of come together, and then they sort of do like chapter episodes about each particular character. So highly recommend, check it out. I thought I had finished it, and then I started watching the trailer, and I was like, oh, there's more episodes. I just caught up. So anyway, because I was like, I didn't like how it ended, but it wasn't over. So anyway, check it out if you can. So I was watching that, and then it just got me thinking. It's not 100% bleak, but it makes you think. I understand why the Gen Zers are concerned and not want to have kids and things, because it doesn't put us 100% into a bleak future, but it's kind of like 2037. You know what I mean? Where we are kind of like in that in between place where things aren't horrible yet, but things have definitely shifted. So
Yeah.
it's like
It's an
prophecy.
interesting show.
It gives you something to think about. And then yesterday, I've just been in a documentary space because sometimes I'll be tired of trying to escape real life. That has its place, but sometimes I just want to be a better person in the world. So I've been watching documentaries, and I watched this documentary called Gather on Netflix.
We watched.
Oh yes,
we are watching.
We watched it too. Yeah. Watching documentaries. Sometimes you be watching something. And anyway, it is the story of, it's a feature film, and it is about Indians. And when I say Indians, I mean indigenous natives to this land, Native Americans. And it's just their resilience in terms of the renaissance that they're having. Renaissance, you know how I'm going to shout out there, but I won't. Of native food systems. And so it was really interesting because I've always sort of felt a connection to the Native community and culture. I've talked about in previous episodes how difficult it was making the move from LA to New York. I mean, from New York to LA. And a lot of, probably one of the first friends I made here, even though they were an adult, was this woman at my school named Miss Sonia, who was a native. And so she would teach us about the culture. She would give us different foods and bring things in. She would do a lot of like Native American dances from her tribe, which I don't remember what tribe. So I don't know if she's still alive or not, but she was really like influential in helping me feel welcome, but also connecting me to the Native tribes and traditions. Also, my great-grandmother on my dad's side is full-blood Cherokee Indian, was full-blood Cherokee Indian. So I just felt connected to the natives, the culture, etc. Not in the culture vulture way either. I respect. Anyway, so
and the animals.
And the animal. I'm always been connected to the animals, man. And the documentary was interesting because they talked about food sovereignty, particularly on reservations, where America's gonna come off these reparations for something. You feel me? Like it's crazy because they talk about colonization in terms of the food supply. So with the natives specifically, they were saying that once.
How many bison did they
the
kill?
colonizers figured out that the natives were very dependent on bison. They killed like 60 million bison. That's buffalo. I think are they synonyms? I don't know. 60 million buffaloes to cut off their food supply because everything was dependent on
that, their whole ecosystem.
And now, of course, they live in reservations. Unfortunately, suicide, depression, alcoholism is really big on the reservations because they talk about living through the trauma of having been colonized and how that affects their psyche, mental, emotional health, all of those things, but also through their food. So a lot of reservations.
I could not believe those kids talking about the only food that they could get was
gas
like
station food,
7-Eleven gas station food.
Like it was crazy.
And
it's a lot of similarities, of course, because many of us are oppressed, people of color in this country. And though
so if it's not literal,
right, though we have
food desert, it's economic things that cause us to live that way sometimes. And
a lot of people of color struggle, of course, but the native populations that live in reservations is like, their own world unto itself because everybody took everything from them, right? So is their journey into food sovereignty. And food sovereignty is, let me be very clear, I want to get this right. Food sovereignty is the right of peoples to healthy and culturally appropriate food produced through ecologically sound and sustainable methods, and their right to define their own food and agriculture systems. It puts the aspirations and needs of those who produce, distribute, and consume food at the heart of food systems and policies rather than demands of markets and corporations. And that is a quote from Nyaleni. I hope I didn't butcher that. And that was the first global forum on food sovereignty in Mali in 2007. So I'm gonna leave some information about that below this video if you want to read that, check it out. So it's a whole movement of communities, particularly communities of color. I'm sure not only community of color are doing it, but culturally, communities are taking on the ownership and responsibility to grow their own food in sustainable ways that's not based on market corporation, capitalism, things of that nature. So they're not just feeding us whatever. And a lot of people are growing their own food. We hear about a lot, especially in urban communities, community gardens, and things of that nature, where people are making sure the foods don't have harmful pesticides, chemicals, because they grow it and eat it themselves. They sell it. Sometimes it's economically sustainable or an economic arm in the community because people come and buy local produce. So it's really a way to like empower yourself and feed yourself and your family well through your abilities to grow and eat and cultivate and cook your own food, and you know where it comes from, which I feel like is a good feeling. And anybody can do this despite their age, their ability. And after watching the documentary, it started us thinking about sort of our little lifelong journey and our health things that we've been working on,
Yeah.
and things that we have in our family in terms of
Historical.
diseases,
Yeah.
historical
Yeah.
things,
What
things that
can we
run in the
do?
family. So we're thinking of starting, well, we are going to start a herb garden, which has been on our brains. And we're always looking for ways to be more healthy, to create generational wellness, not just in finances and emotional well-being and all that, but also physically. And a lot of that happens with the food that we eat. And we're a little nervous because we have brown thumbs.
We have those brown thumbs.
In a lot of ways, man. So we're working on it. But yeah.
And listen, I could definitely use a creative outlet to
outside
reduce,
of business and
reduce some of this post-pandemic anxiety. Don't pretend like I'm the only one. I know y'all have some too. Y'all don't want to talk about
outside
it.
is really wild.
Y'all want to pretend like it's you outside and it's okay, but we all have a little PTSD. So I've been looking for something. I used to sew when I was younger, which I really enjoyed that. I don't do that anymore. I know.
Oh,
maybe.
but your hands.
No, but maybe. We'll see. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to having a creative outlet to do that. And when I cook, which it could be said that I cook intermittently, not intermittent fasting, but intermittent cooking. That would be me. But when I do cook, I do like really fresh herbs and stuff. So I think it would be fun to have an herb garden. I've always thought that.
And for me, if you haven't watched our second episode, I talked about the loss of my son, my child Shadow, that I've had since I was 10 years old. He's a bird before everyone starts flooding the comments with crazy condolences. But it still matters to me. That's still my child. I had him since I was 10. He's just not a human child, and I want you to know that. Anyway, so I miss him.
26 years, though.
Yeah, I miss him every day, and it's just not the same. It's too quiet in the house, and I miss having something to like love unconditionally and care for. So I'm not 100% ready to take on getting another pet right now, because that was a whole lot of anxiety and stress in and of itself, and my schedule is still kind of all over the place. So anyway, I'm looking forward to finding something else to take care of and something else to cultivate and live on. I don't know about it loving me back in the way that a pet would, but we'll see. I don't know. Plant people are deep, man. They be having a real connection to the earth and the plants.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyway, we started doing research because, believe it or not, there's a lot of research to do.
Google's your friend.
If you're going to have a garden and you don't know that much about gardening. My husband has a little bit of a green thumb, so I'm hoping he'll be able to help us.
Because he's from Georgia. The country people be no disrespect to y'all, but y'all be knowing.
So anyway, we started doing research on planters, because episode number 1, I can't be on my knees trying to be in the garden and all that stuff. So and then as we started looking, there's certain dirt that's good for growing herbs and some that's good for growing flowers.
The soil game is for real.
And then, Miracle Grow versus this versus that. And then certain herbs can't grow together because they eat off of the other plant. Who knew? So
a war in the plant.
So we're researching all that and going to decide what we really want to plant. I know for sure we're going to plant some basil and we're going to plant some lavender. And in between there, we'll figure the rest of it out. So anyway, we know that maintaining the garden is going to take regular care, and we're going to have to tend to it and water and fertilize it and keep it free from the bugs,
reminders
and diseases. But we're also looking forward to taking time to appreciate it and really be excited and engaged in the process of watching the herbs come up and cooking with the herbs, and to slowing down a little bit and enjoying our little spring project here and learning some life lessons as we go along. If you decide that maybe I should plant a garden this spring as well, there are numerous resources available for learning. We almost went down a rabbit hole today, and we were like, okay, we can look at this later. But
Google is your friend, though.
It is. You can find books, online resources, organizations, gardening clubs. And it really is important to do your research and find resources that make sense for you in terms of your lifestyle and your budget. Because I was looking for planters, and they ranged from, I saw a planter today for $3,000. Just, one of those box planters you put in the backyard. I was like, what does it do for $3,000? But anyway,
it should water the plants itself. That's what it should do.
And plant them and everything else. But anyway, you could go from like $50. I saw a couple of really nice planters for like $50-$60. And then anywhere in between, there are a range of planters. If you want to, stand up, and then pots and different things. They'll tell you all the things that you need to do to, make your garden grow, as they say.
How does your garden grow?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm hoping that our ancestor, my Aunt Margie, will come and whisper in our ears as we doing this. The ancestors come and whisper in your ear where you're dropping seasonings. I hope she'll do that.
She used to plant
the green thumb.
Yep. Every time she would come to visit, she would plant a new plant in the yard, and they still come up, and we go like, oh,
that's true. We'd be like, oh, Margie planted that. Yeah, because she started doing it a little while. She would come out and visit us, and she would plant things once we got this house, like before she passed. So every now and then things will start popping up, and I'll be like, oh, Margie planted that. So we do have green thumb in the
adjacent
in the bloodline. It's just, it's not us specifically.
Yeah.
So with that, we're also going to check out a lot of local plant shops. Well, some local plant shops. We have one in Burbank that we like to visit. The lady there is really cool. Is Black owned. There's a lot of community gardens in LA. So I've been like kind of Googling that for a while. But we're getting into this plant life. Shout out to Quick Jones.
You should ask Miss Carolyn. She'll take us
everywhere. Yeah, Miss Carolyn is all about that plant life.
Shout out to Miss Carolyn.
So yeah, we're gonna figure it out, man, and it's gonna be cool. And you are gonna watch us do this. Hopefully, we'll give you some updates on the Truthful Chat, but we're also gonna be on all the places we always tell you to come and find us, right? We hope you're subscribed here on the YouTube channel or on the Facebook, wherever you are watching this. We hope you are following us on IG as well. We out here, man. And so we're going to be showing you the good, the bad, and the real, real ugly.
And the real, real funny.
Yeah, with this plant life. So we'll probably just go live. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what we're going to say.
Yeah.
I do cuss, so, just depending on what's going on.
We'll put up a warning. We'll if it's, well, no, we won't know if it's live. We're going to know.
I'll try to watch my language, but I'm just
yes.
It's going to be funny, though. So anyway, if you're not following us, you're not liking us,
you're going to miss a lot of funny.
You're going to miss a lot of things. I don't know that we're going to be having separate little YouTube videos for that, but just catch us on the things. But with that,
so you have to subscribe so you'll know when we're going
live. Yeah, you got to do all those things. So it's going to be a good time. Follow us, pray for us. If you are about that plant life and like you're a professional gardener and you really does this, you do's this, you're not new to this, you're true to this, please leave some tips in the comments. We try to be really transparent. It's not our thing, y'all. Like, we really are out here trying to do better with our lives, but we don't want to be playing homicide. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you have tips, please use them in the comments.
Oh gosh, help us.
Hyperbole is real. Anyway, but and we also need tips on. We have a lot of animals that live in our backyard. They find sanctuary here. It's like garden eating at any time of the day. There's cats, raccoons, possums, squirrels, all kind of birds. So
did you say raccoons?
I did. Raccoons. So if you have any like natural pesticide things, like I said, I'm down for the ecosystem of the earth. I'll feed them some things, but I don't want them in the planter because that makes everything me feel like I'm wasting my time. Let me say that. I don't mind giving to the earth, but still. Anyway, so happy Earth Day, y'all. Happy Earth Month. Upcoming 420, upcoming Earth Day. Happy
422
month. So let's just all practice being a responsible global citizen. Okay, this is our planet. Invest in our planet this month, and you never know what can happen. We live through some things. Okay. I don't want to bring up old stuff, but grocery stores shutting down and plagues and
food supply chain
issues, and a lot of the stuff we eating just is not good for us at the end of the day. So It's never too late to prepare for the expected and the unexpected. Okay. So with that, be prepared, as Scar would say. The anointing is in the Disney movie. Y'all don't know. Anyway, with that, we will see you next week. Y'all have a great evening.
Let's
all start.
Let's start a planting challenge.
Let's do a plant life challenge. Anyway, so y'all have a great evening. We'll see you next Thursday, and hopefully we'll be able to show you basic progress.
Something. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Love you.